morning, beloveds. I'm running behind because we took a tour of our neighborhood looking for any extra Halloween decorations and found some cool ones. So let's do the housekeeping. The housekeeping is simply me reminding you that we are Creative Life Spiritual Center. Website's creativelife.org. Constant contact, email, info@creativelife.org. You get one email a week, tells you what's going on for the week and the month, and the hot links are hot. And blind CC, meaning nobody will see your email. You won't end up on anybody else's email because of us. So pretty safe bet there. And the social medias, simply because we do not monetize them. We don't want to deal with the ads any more than you do. So what we ask you to do instead is go like, subscribe, follow based on which platform you're on, the pages, and then engage with the individual posts. So follow the posts, react to the post, comment on the post, share the posts. I'm still thinking about, we went to see the Bruce Springsteen movie last night. Like, it was the two of us and one other guy in the theater. So we had the theater to ourselves. It was an amazing movie. It only deals with a very specific period, like 18 months. But it's really good because it shows you, one, his songwriting process, and two, his struggles with anxiety, with depression. It's really and why, because you got some insight into his childhood, which is really interesting. And you got to see some iconic parts of New Jersey. So that was really interesting. And he was clearly surrounded by really good people. And that right there, if you are dealing with, anxiety and depression, being surrounded by good people, like he had, this one really good friend. Then he had this amazing tech, and then the manager. Like, the manager went to bat for him every time. It was during that period of time. It was really incredible. So I kind of want to read the book now. And I'm not a huge Bruce Springsteen fan. So, but Tom is from New Jersey. So obviously we had to go see the movie, but I wanted to see it. So, so I recommend it. Okay. But we're not here to do that. We are here to do, Your Spiritual Power. And Your Spiritual Power is a collection of inspirational writings from Ernest Holmes that may not be readily available anywhere else. We are doing Discover Your Richer Life, which, when you read the intro to that book, is actually a collection of his articles from the Science of Mind magazine, which I think is really cool. So apparently there were two people, one guy in Science of Mind and one with Penguin House Publishing, who got together and collected a number of Ernest's different into books like this, and like I am grateful for them because so we are doing part 2 of Discover Your Richer Life, Discover Richer Life, Practical Prayer. And we are doing part 2 of that because it was 9 pages and I can't do that in one reading. So we've got about 4 pages left, and I didn't mark where I left off, but I'm pretty sure that I started with the first full paragraph. So let's hope that's where I left off. All right. Discover a Richer Life, part 2 of Practical Prayer. What he called this something else. Practical Prayer. The Science of Prayer. It is definite and concise. That's what it says. All right. So there is a rhythm in the universe, and if it were rightly understood, there would be no conflict. There is a peace in the universe, a freedom from confusion, which, rightly understood, would heal all troubles. There is an all-encompassing love in the universe, which, rightly understood, would heal difficulties. Everything below the threshold of consciousness is subject to the level of awareness to which our consciousness has evolved. Yeah, right there. That's the thing. Until we are aware of it, there's not much we can do about it. And so that's one of the reasons why I like to say that the drumbeat of Science of Mind, one of the drumbeats of Science of Mind is consciousness, consciousness, consciousness. Mindfulness, awareness. I know woke gets a bad rap, but that's what he's talking about. Being awake to what is going on in the world, When you are aware of it, then you can do something about it. So, the highest form of intelligence governs the lower. Everything less than conscious intelligence is unconscious intelligence, which functions either on the pattern inherent in it or injected into it by the individual mind or the race mind, okay? So subconscious. And frequently that is exactly what we are doing, is we are running on subconscious patterns, which I would argue is part of what was going on in the Bruce Springsteen movie. Due to childhood trauma, Bruce was running on some subconscious patterns, and until he became aware of them, they were ruining his life. It happens to a lot of us. And once you are aware of them, then you can fix them. Okay? One of our greatest errors is that we sometimes think the universe was created, wound up, and is now running down, and that the mechanic deserted it after it wound it up. God not only created the universe, but also continually expresses in and through it. I believe that idea of, creating the universe and then turning his back on it is called deism. It's an interesting, it's an interesting rabbit hole to go through. Apparently the founders, I'm not sure about all of the founders, but like Benjamin Franklin was one of those. He was a deist. He believed that God didn't have anything to do with the world after he created it. And I was just like, yeah, I'm not there yet. So, okay. Emerson said that the ancient of days is in the latest of inventions. He also wrote that the mind that wrote history is the mind that reads it. It is our assumption that there is no difference between the thought and what it is going to do. What it is going to do is announced by the definiteness of the thought. Wait, what? Hang on. What it is going to do is announced by the definiteness of thought, but its ability to do it is not injected by the thinker. Okay, he says that's a very important point, so I'm going to highlight it because I'm going to have to go back and think about it. Okay. So the definiteness of thought, but the ability is not the thinker. Okay. No, yeah, I get it. Okay. We are the ones who have definite thoughts, but we are not the one who does the actual work. It is not our power that does the work. Okay. He says this is an important point, so let's see what he has to say after that. Okay. This is a very important point. For this reason, I started out by saying that there are no natural healers. In the same sense, we do not say that a physicist is a natural energizer because they deal with energy. This means that the individual doesn't do the healing, but if they don't meditate or pray, it might not be accomplished. They don't inject themselves into the situation as a healer, but what they do is consciously see a natural energy, intelligence, and creativity at the level of their consciousness, their recognition, and their feeling of it. In this sense, the individual is a practitioner, one who uses the law of mind. Gotcha. Whew, okay. What then would be a technique of spiritual mind healing? The formation of words to conform with an idea, of course, that harms no one, and with such a conviction that they are true, that nothing in your own mind, your own consciousness, rejects what you say, and then identifying what you say with the person, situation, or thing you desire to change for the good. That is all there is to it. That is all there is to it. Yeah, like he makes it sound easy, right? Which it is. Like, it is incredibly easy, and yet not. Okay. It is simplicity itself, but it is also so elusive that we look for a greater profoundness, not knowing how to profound simple things, not knowing how profound simple things are. Yep. Like, it's the easiest thing in the world, and yet we can't believe that it's that easy. So we go out of our way to make it hard. We of necessity believe that there is an intelligent principle or law in the universe which receives the impress of our thoughts as we think it and acts upon it without question, without argument, without rationality. It creates for us in our experience the content of our thought with mathematical accuracy. He loves to say mathematical accuracy. I just find that fascinating. This is the law of mind. To the degree we understand our unity with spirit or God and give to the law only ideas of good, we expand our thought and free ourselves from the negative consequences of our previous limited thinking. Blah. To the degree we understand our unity with spirit or God. Okay. God is all there is. God is perfect. There is one life. That life is God. That life is our life. Therefore, that life is now pulsating in us. It is the everlasting presence, which is both personal and impersonal. Personal as presence and impersonal as law. See, now that first sentence, you hear a whole lot of Science of Mind ministers use a variation on that to start their treatments. Because Ernest, I mean, you can't do worse than use the words of a master. Okay. There is nothing separate from it. Well, hang on. Okay. Presence, which is both personal and impersonal. Personal as presence and impersonal as law. There is nothing separate from it. Now, as a result of this, the logical outcome of our constructive thinking is the tangible manifestation of the good we desire. The good embodied in our prayer for the person, the affairs, or the situation we wish to help. Since the law is everywhere and everything is in it, the desired change is initiated in the prayer itself. The technique of application is very simple. Suppose we are praying or giving a treatment for John Doe. We might begin something like this. This treatment is for John Doe. He lives at such and such a place. There is only God's perfect pattern, and thus that is his life now. This is the spiritual truth about him, and because it is, all which appears opposite of it is eliminated from his experience. Or we might say, every plant which our heavenly spirit hath not planted shall be rooted up and cast out of his experience. But there are but statements. These are but statements to convince the mind of the one giving the treatment. But any statement which will bring about conviction is good. Okay. Any statement. And no two treatments can ever be alike, lest we should listen to ourselves, and we must not listen to what we say, but to what we really feel and think. There we go. No two treatments. Yep. Nope. There it is. There it is. We should not listen to ourselves, but not what we say, but what we really think and feel. What we really feel and think. Because our speech so often affirms what we should not listen to. All right, Ernest. Let the child of simple faith within you counsel the person of experience, that the person of experience shall find out what is good and seek to follow it. The simple faith will always tell you just what to do or say. Let the child of simple faith within you. Wow. I like it. Okay. And I'm fast running out of time, so I need to hurry up. So there is no prescribed formula for treatment or prayer, because every time we give a treatment, we must expect it to be the only time we are going to give that one. It is a new formation and must be spontaneous. It is a new formation and must be spontaneous. Wow. never read this before. Cool. The moment it becomes mechanical, it seems to lose much of its power. A technique may be correct, but the fire and feeling and the temperament are not always in it. And it is out of the fire of the heart that the mouth must speak. It is, he's just burning it today. Therefore, do not wonder what words you will use. Treatment follows a law of intelligence, and its objective manifestation corresponds to our conviction and use of that law. Treatment is involution. Manifestation is evolution. Treatment is spontaneous. Manifestation is mechanical. Someone may ask, how shall we apply this method to treatment of affairs? Just the same way. There is no difference between treating somebody for a physical healing and treating somebody for the manifestation of needed supply. Both acts are purely mental. We reduce a condition to a mental concept and then correct what needs correcting in the mental concept. We do not deny the reality of things or affairs, but raise our own consciousness to a greater perception and acceptance of the spiritual source of all substance and supply. We know that thoughts have the ability of creating new experiences and conditions through the action of the one mind. For instance, consider a person who is alone and lonely. We arrive at the conviction that there is no limitation in spirit and no limitation in this person's life, for they are one with spirit, and new experiences are coming to them. They will meet new people, new things, new conditions. As we do this, we are setting in motion for them the law of mind which operates upon all things, spiritual, mental, and physical. And they will sooner or later meet whole new sets of circumstances. We must remember that out of the impulsion of our thought, a creativity is set in motion, which has prerogative and initiative. As the impulsion of our thought is lifted to a higher level of understanding, something new must evolve. There is but one creator in the universe. We individualize it. It individualizes within us as us. There is only one mind. We use it. One spirit. We live by it. One law which governs everything. One presence which responds to everything. We are individualizations of it with the ability to initiate new causes in our experience. I mean, can you imagine how boring life would be if we could not initiate new experiences? It's an ability that I'm grateful that we have. The universe is not necessarily an endless and monotonous repetition of the same old thing, unless we let it be. Every time we think, something new is being done. God is not a static God, and there is no time when creation begins. In the eternal now, by thought, spirit moves upon the law of universe, and out of it arises a new creation. We got about 2 paragraphs to go. Although it is very important to be specific in prayer or treatment, we may also initiate a new chain of causation just by affirming that something new and good is going to happen. I may send for a packet of seeds that I know nothing about and have never seen. I may never have seen the kind of flower or plant these seeds will produce. I have no mental equivalent of this particular plant in my mind. When I subject the seeds to the creative medium of the soil, they will provide me with that which I do not have an equivalent for. My equivalent was the ability to expect and to receive something. I guess that's his way of saying if you don't know what you want, it's okay. You can still treat for something new, even if you don't have a mental equivalent for it. So that's good to know. Remember this. No matter what you are treating, people or conditions, find out what is wrong. Know that the opposite thought will erase it. Start as simply as that. You can do it because nobody can think any better than you can think, and no one has any more authority about it. Nobody is any better than you are. The one who is willing to abandon themselves to the genius of the universe, to the realization of their intimate relationship with it, and who applies their thought and feeling and all that they are to this conviction will not find a void, but a solid foundation for the creation and experience of a joyous new life. I like that he ended it that way. I like that he ended it by saying, nobody's better than you. That we all have access to that. Especially having been raised Catholic, because, you know, if you're raised Catholic, you have Jesus and Mary and all of the saints and all of the priests and all of the deacons and pretty much everybody in the church between you and God. And Ernest right there said, nah, you can go directly to the source of your own being. Nobody can do it better for you than you. Now, everybody else is here to help, but nobody's better at it than you. I love it. All right. So that is it. So I'm going to wrap up really quickly. I'm going to remind you or encourage you to have a great day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanted day, a wonderful day, an awesome day, an amazing day. Enjoy the cooler weather. Cuddle your fur babies. Tell somebody you love them. Look in the mirror and tell yourself you love them. Tell yourself that you love you. There, that's it. Drink plenty of water day. Enjoy the sunshine day. Hey, Halloween is coming day. Are you ready? I love Halloween. A good day. And if that is too much pressure, because occasionally it is, I get it. Simply have a day. You are enough, just as you are. You're a beloved expression of the divine. You are spirit in motion, God in action, a brilliant light, a divine spark, a beautiful masterpiece, and a work in progress at the same time, at your own pace. Do not compare yourself to anybody else. And as Reverend Jesse likes to call it, you are a godling. Explore the truth of your being. Get to know who God, the divine knows you to be. Because the divine knows you to be good. It's all the divine knows. It's all the divine knows. And Connie, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And from there, anything is possible. All right, beloveds. Reverend David should be on around 5 p.m. with you. I should be back with you around 9-ish tomorrow. Hopefully I won't be in as much of a hurry. Take care of yourself. Know that you are loved. And I will see you next time.